それじゃあね、アイテムでとりあえず体力をちょっと回復しておいたんだけど、この状態で、死体下ろせるかな。やっぱり今日中にやっときたいよね。
There he still is, looking right through you with his white eyes. The body below is entirely dedicated to that corpse smell. Emitting it is all it does now.
ゴブゴブね。どうだろう、いけるかな。やってみるか。
You crack open the ammonia ampoule and breathe in. The odor of death is still stronger. It's a spell of the mind telling you to run, and your stomach to wring itself empty. With your eyes squinting, you stand in it.
もう吐かないだろうな。次に進む。
Your muscles tense up. The vision in your dead angle darkens. You feel the sudden urge to push your hand into his soft gut.
なんでだよ。死体ってのはどれもこうなのか。
They do after 7 days, yes. We are deep in decomposition here.
だよね。死体に近づく。
The man before you is naked, but for a pair of underpants and enameled boots. His skin is greenish, marbled with decaying veins and blotched by lividity. A fading web of tattoos covers his chest and shoulders. The cargo belt used to fasten him to the branch above appears industrial in strength.
なんでこの死体ブーツだけ履いてんだろうね。他のね、衣類っていう、衣服っていうのはゴミ箱に捨てられてたのにね。ブーツを観察する。
The material appears to be ceramic. Its clean white stands in stark contrast to the decaying flesh above the knee. The man wore thick polymer socks, probably for padding. A fine array of interlocking plates covers them.
なんかすごい不釣り合いだね。この綺麗なそのブーツと。
Delicate and fragile, they feel alien to the world around you, out of place somehow.
こいつはどういうブーツなんだ？
They are armor, no boots. Technically speaking, these are sabatons.
サバトン。アーマーなんだ。ブーツじゃなくてアーマーだと。どういうアーマーなんだ？
Ceramic plate. Zirconium dioxide, most likely. This is where the make would be. Under the heel. Fair weather. Fair weather model T500 VE. I'm guessing that's vitreous enamel. This is advanced stuff.
アーマーの一部なら残りの部分はどうなったんだ？
The locals probably scavenged it. It would be odd if he had more on after 7 days.
なるほどね。
We should keep a lookout for these species. The armor could yield information. This is one thing he might actually know.
まあ食うのがもしかしてね、ここから剥ぎ取った可能性もあるよね。
If you wear those pieces, it will help me protect your mortal coil.
どういう意味だよそれ。俺の人生の苦悩は守る必要があるのか。
Yes, bullets will fly. They always do. And the coil is fleshy and mush and permeable. Cast it in ceramic shell. Resist death.
物騒な日常だな、主人公。元からブーツだけで他の部位は身につけてなかったんじゃないか。ブーツだけ。いや、それは理解できないんだけど。
No, I think he had something precious underneath the clothes. They had to remove the jeans and shirt we found to get to it. And this kind of armor is often worn under fabrics.
ああ、そうなんだ。だから服があそこに、ゴミ箱に入ってたんだね。アーマーをひっぺがすときに服を脱がされたってことだよね。犯人たちが男を吊るす前に裸になれと命令したんだとしたら、ああ、そうだよね。
They usually hang them completely naked for that. La puta madre, the Mazda, the Besmertes and the like. This one still has his underpants.
まあそうか。
Fucking talking about underpants.
この材質はなんだか場違いに見える。
It is. It's expensive.
高価なもの。
We've requested similar material for our tactical units for years now. The constabularies deemed it too costly. In that time, we've lost 6 men to semi-automatics.
あら。高価ってのはどれぐらいの金額なんだ？
For a full set, about 4 years of wages.
マジで？すごい高いアーマーなんだね。失敬するか。主人公もあれかスカベンジャーかよって感じだよ。
By catching, do you mean let's not log them as evidence? Let's steal them?
まあそういうことさ。
It means disciplinary hearing.
怒っていいんだよ、キム。この男はどうやってそんな高価な装備品を揃えたんだ？
That's for us to find out. My initial report on the area suggests he was a security guard for the harbor company. But that's just hearsay.
あ、そうなんだ。被害者は港湾会社の、警備員だった可能性があると。事前情報。
Just something I scraped together from my station. An area report on Martinez. I'm sure you did the same.
He's not actually sure of that. He's just being tactful.
警備員にしては先進的すぎる装備だ。
I agree. This equipment is way beyond what a guard can afford.
会社から支給されたってことは可能性はないのかな？ブーツを、指で叩く。
A small bell-like sound fills the air, like tapping on the side of a porcelain cup. Suddenly, your biceps coil up. Your elbow is sharp and cocked for a punch.
ちょっと待って。なんでこの場面でさ、ブーツを殴る必要があるんだよ。もうやだ、肉体装置ほんと。ブーツを強めに殴る。
Your fist connects to the boot with the same ding. The sound does not appear to get louder.
HP はダメージ入んなかったね。
Did you hear that? A click?
ダイスが転がるような音だ。
This is a kinetic redistributor. It spreads the incoming energy horizontally from plate to plate. When the plates connect, there's a click. That's the sound you heard. See these lines?
お、なんか発見したの？
Faint, organic lines cover the plates where they separate into smaller ones. These plates then divide into smaller plates until there are hundreds of them
すご
altogether.
くないこの技術。
Like whirls of floorboards, the design looks organic, influenced by highly resistant wood materials, like lignum vitae and ebony perhaps.
この素材は何かを連想させるがなんだ？
If trees were made of porcelain, this is what their cross sections would look like.
ものすごくなんか高度な技術なんじゃないの？線を指でなぞる。
The smooth, glossy surface fractures into ever more intricate interconnections, peaking on the right sabaton, where you notice.
何に気づいた？
The whorls are in the shape of a letter and number combination. E50, 100, 1000.
何の番号だこれ？右のサバトンにシリアルナンバーがあるようだ。
Good. Can you read it to me? We have a make and a number. That's something. We can use the radio in my kinema when we're done. Either station can chase it for us.
わかった。じゃあ後であれか、無線とか行かないとね。じゃあブーツを脱がす。
This feels dangerous. Are you sure?
どうしてどうしていいじゃんいいじゃん、ブーツを挟む。
The stench fills your nostrils. As you push downward, an ominous creaking sound comes from
嫌
above.
な予感がする。あ、なんか嫌な予感がする。大丈夫か？
Stop! Pig's gonna pull his head off.
やばい。死体が落ちてくんじゃないこれ。
So!
慌てているようだな、警部補どうした？
You're about to pull his head off.
だよね。やめてよ、ここで。俺はホモじゃない。
Stop obsessing about your sexuality, officer. You are about to seriously compromise the coroner's case.
そうだよね。
What are you trying to achieve anyway? Why are you hanging on to the foot?
いや、このブーツもらおうかなと思ってさ。 高価な代物なんだろう。視野に入れて小遣いにしようと思って。最低だ。警官の風上にも置けねえや。
For a full set of armor, I wouldn't blame you. But these boots are hardly worth a disciplinary hearing. There are better ways to pay a hostel bill. Besides,
It's hard to get a read on the lieutenant. What would he do if you stole them? Would he report you or not? Surprisingly, you feel like he probably wouldn't.
どうだろうね。私だったら通報するけど。
there's no way you're getting them off. All the organic matter in his body has been flowing down into the boots. They are fused to his feet now.
やだ。
Why do you think the locals haven't scavenged them yet?
なるほどね。だからブーツを残してったってことか。
You're sure there's a way to peel them off, but first the body needs to be down. And second, it would probably be better if the lieutenant wasn't around.
なんだ、ブーツ盗むんなら何？キムがいない時がいいって？そしたらね、いい考えだ。
The anticipation makes you crack your fingers. Feels nice. Nice and cracky.
悪い警官だ。ならこのブーツはどうなるんだ？
Processing will take care of them. With the situation in the morgue, it will yield nothing. But we must pick our fights. Should we continue?
よし、じゃあ一歩下がって下を見上げる。
The cadaver slowly twists on the cargo belt. His torso covered in
ここはさっ
tattoos
きと同じだよね。
and extremities
じゃ
blotched
あベル
pink
トを
and
観
blue.
察する。
The hangman's knot is pulled tight by the weight of the corpse below. Yellow, hard-edged polyester cuts into his neck. Above, a sliding buckle ties the belt to the branch.
次に進む。
Oh my, there's something on the belt. A familiar word that speaks to the thirst within you.
何が書いてあるの？なんだそれは。単語だって。
Vermilion, in yellow letters, along the length of the twisting cargo belt. Only a deep longing for vermilion golden spirits lets you decipher the fading logo of the local brewery.
なんでよ。お酒に関する名前だったから反応したわけね。酒を飲まないと。
No, you should not get a drink. You should perform an initial inspection of the victim's corpse. We are on the rope part.
よかった。もうキムがいてくれて本当にありがたいね。あれはどういうロープなんだ？
Industrial strength. The kind used for tying cargo to lorries.
港で使われていたものか。
Yes, it looks like they use whatever was on hand, paying no attention to not incriminating themselves.
そっか。港にいる港湾労働者が吊るしたという線で行くのか。
The brief suggested as much, politically motivated by the ongoing strike. Did you not get a briefing?
ブリーフィングは受け取ってない。俺の核は完全に消滅した。何も覚えてないんだ。母親のことも最愛の人のことも、状況報告なんて言うまでもない。これだよな。
Okay, you should ask me for one the first moment we get.
そうね。犯人たちはどうやってあそこまで持ち上げたんだ？
A noose is one of those things that's easier to use one way around. I think they lassoed the branch, then pulled on the belt. Buckle closes. It's what I would do. Seems easier than climbing up there.
なるほどね。はいはい。犯人たちは、この男を晒し者にしたかったんだな。あのポリエステルのベルトは強度が高そうだ。
It's not merely polyester. It's steel reinforced. See these lines? This is where the wires run. I see rabbits for more than 20 strands.
すごい。強度の高いベルトなんだね。
This makes getting him down much more problematic than I had assumed.
どうやってこれ下ろそうかね。一歩下がって下を見上げ
The
る。
cadaver hangs from the cargo belt, limbs limp and torso covered in tattoos.
じゃあタトゥーを観察する。
An intricate web of blue lines stretches across the torso, from the right shoulder to the solar plexus. Each time they intersect, a small white star is formed in their crossing. Hundreds of fading asterisks riddle his skin. Their concentration is highest around his heart.
はいはい。
His corpse is marked by stars.
そうだね。俺の死体には何か、やめろ。やめろ。
Alcohol and heartbreak.
ああ、主人公って寂しいやつだな、本当に。
Your fist clenches suddenly.
きっと全身にディスコが散りばめられてる。
Decay is creeping on the tattoo. Already, most of the canvas that's holding it has darkened. Now, it disintegrates slowly, letting out a stink.
何のタトゥーなんだろうね。そうだな。これは民族由来の模様か。
Of no nation that I know of. If anything, it reminds me of religious illumination, last or penultimate century. Men who live harsh lives often turn to innocentic worship. But which one? I see no trace of a humanoid figure.
宗教的なもん、宗教的な、装飾画といった趣。
The pattern does not stir patriotic or religious sentiment in you. What it does is speak to the wounded, limping animal, the male in particular, unable to communicate in anything more than grunts. It's impossible to tell if its advice is right or wrong.
このタトゥーの謎は素通りできないな。
So am I.
なんだ
He takes a thin piece of milled aluminium from his coat pocket and pulls it open. Sounds like a sword being unsheathed. A small lens appears. Some sort of camera.
キツラギっていうかキムはカメラ持ってんだね。さすがっすね。準備がいい。キツラギ警部補を見守る。
Shit, Kuno! What the fuck is that?
An instant color camera.
インスタントカメラ。
I have only 2 ampoules, so nobody move. I don't want to waste one.
A sound, a shrill flash, followed by the breaking of a small ampoule of glass. You see streams of color pour onto the thick, glossy piece of paper, rolling out.
これね、死体の絵ね。
In case we need it.
そうだね。紙の上に死体の胸のタトゥーの完璧な複製が出現する。クールな機械だ。
Yes, it is pretty cool, isn't it?
すごいクール。欲しいな、それ。写真を撮ってどうするんだ
It contains insight to the victim's person. By his build, I'd say this was a man of physical violence. The story he wanted his body to tell was important to him. It is his letter, to us. Someone should decipher it. We'll need to show it around.
そうだね。聞き込みの時に使えるね。あんまり死体の写真っていうのもどうかと思うけどね。それをもらえるか。写真ならこの匂いを嗅がずに観察できる。ない匂いってますか。
Sure. Just don't lose it.
The glossy-eyed corpse looks by, his mouth mute and his skin as colorful as the chemical rainbow on the photo paper,
はい。
teeming with opportunistic organisms.
死体の目を見つめる。
His eyes are milky white and blind to the world, protruding comically from their sockets. There is no one home, just subaquatic terrors there. Dark brown hair grows on his head. His face is ready to explode from the organic processes inside. The death's head grin has passed. What remains is an unrecognizable mess.
スキルチェックが出てるけど、おい、死体、教えてくれ。お前は誰なんだ、答えたらすごいと思うんだけどな。ちょっと。
The corpse is dead silent. You have no idea why you just said that.
Who is he? He is male, 40 to 50, with an athletic build.
それで今ね、内陸帝国に1ポイント、スキルポイントを振ったんだよね。だから、再挑戦できると思うんだけど、もう一回やってみる。よし。吊るされたとこ、俺は去った。 お前は去ったと言ったがどこにだ？
Into the wild pale yonder.
羽毛のペールの向こう。ああ。てか、これってさ、本当に喋ってるわけじゃないよね。頭の中で喋ってんのかな？それはどこにある？
In the past, way out in the west.
うん。お前が死人なのはわかるが、お前は誰なんだ？
I'm a joke. Look at me.
うん。今のお前はそうだが、生前のお前はどんな人間だった？
A killer. A motherfucker. And a killer.
人殺し。あ
Takes one to know one.
同類なの？主人公人殺しだったっけ？まあ、ひどい男ではあるけれど。また別の質問が。
Go ahead, Copper.
一体何が起こっている？
What do you mean?
質問しているのはこっちだ。
It's the power of your
うん、これはお前さんの
imagination.
やっぱり主人公の妄想か？想像力の産物だ。
Go ahead. Ask me more questions. You fucking love questions.
俺はどうしてこんなに質問が好きなんだ？知らないよ。
Because you're a copperoony. Look at all of them go.
コッパルーニーって何？
Do you want more questions?
うん。あ、もっとしたい。
Here you go, you loony.
俺の名前はルーニーなのか？
Fuck no. You're no Rooney.
何を喋ってんだっけ今。俺はルーニーだって気がするが。
No, you don't. Between you and me, your name is probably Harry.
お前さんの名前は多分ハリーだ。本当かな？ハリーって名前かな？主人公の名前ってハリーなの？何か恐ろしいことを忘れているような気がするのはなぜだ？
Because you have.
うん。まあ、記憶喪失だからな。お前が気に入らない臭いし退屈なやつだ。
Do I remind you of someone?
俺を見て誰か思い出さないか。誰だろう。ね。自分だ。浴室の鏡に映る自分。
There you go.
マジか。
Look at that bright kid. We're birds of a feather, you and I. Soon you'll be just like me. Just keep drinking and having a good time.
同類
It's a
か。
matter of weeks.
なるほど。同類ってことね。そのまま飲み続けて浮かれ騒いでりゃすぐにお前さん俺とそっくりになる。そんな気がするね。
Feeling nausea, vomiting, tenderness or pain around the liver area, tiny red lines on the skin above waist level, more like days, Coppo. The clock is ticking.
マジ
Your
か。
liver tells you so.
本当に？余命数日ってやつ？やめてよ。一応質問全部終わったか。もう十分。
Come back later, Corpo. Amuse yourself with my frank manners and my memento mori features. If possible, also, see me in your dreams.
なんだろうな。この死体と主人公ってなんか関係があるのかな？目を細めて一歩下がる。
As you narrow your eyes, the monster before you blurs into a violent Only the lower extremities are pink with a dash of blue. His fatted hands, thighs, and his neck, just above the noose. The rest of the corpse appears dark green in the cold spring air.
目を細めるのをやめリラックスする。
The cadaver slowly twists on the cargo belt, his torso covered in tattoos, and extremities blotched pink and blue.
これあれかな、さっきの質問戻っちゃうのかな。俺には知りたいことがあるんだよ、知ったよと。
Of course.
だよね。
You
戻っちゃっ
have
たね。
questions, don't you? Come back later,
それじ
Corpo.
ゃあ
Amuse yourself with...
それじゃあ、死体を下ろすか。それでどうやって死体を下ろす？
Are you sure we finished the preliminary examination of the cadaver? We might miss some of these things once he's done.
多分全部見たと思うんだけどな。ちょっと待ってね。
The cadaver slowly twists on the cargo belt, his torso covered in tattoos, and extremities blotched pink and blue.
大丈夫。よし、事前の検査はこれで終了だ。死体を下に下ろそう。
The steel reinforced belt presents a unique challenge. I brought chain cutters, but I don't see a good angle of approach to the belt.
チェーンカッター持ってる。ベルトを切断するにはどこからアプローチしたものか。
The cadaver is a good 1.2 meters up. Neither one of us can reach the belt without assistance. And even if we do, there's the question of cutting it.
そうだよな。
There's no question. There's only cutting. How hard can it be?
もうさ、肉体装置は少し頭を使ったらどうかな。そうね、ちょっと待ってね。ベルトを切るのは簡単だ。チェーンカッターも持ってる。
I don't doubt your physical prowess, officer. But that's aircraft strength material, and we do not have a secure platform to perform the procedure on.
まあそうだよね。まさか木に登るわけにもな。
The risk of acrobatic failure is one we cannot take. We must not become comedy for the locals.
まあ主人公は多分木から落ちるよね。
The fuck have you got against comedy pigs?
食うのから笑われるね。あの枝を切るのはどうだろう。
Climb up there and saw the branch?
俺たちのどちらでも登れる、木の側面についている子供用のはしご。子供用のはしごだよ。
I don't trust that ladder. The assailants didn't use it. It's rotten and less sturdy than it looks. And I don't see another good way up there. Honestly, I prefer a non-acrobatic solution to this.
なぜ？
Clown cops climb tree, fall down. Enraged cop assaults children after falling from tree.
いいね、この見出し。週刊誌とかさ、新聞がこぞってこういう見出しつけそうだよね。
Cretin cop, they like that word, saws the branch he's sitting on, literally. Local children report corpse mutilation.
やめてあげて、もう。これ以上主人公いじめないで。待って、自分の座っていた枝を切断。実はとか、なんだよこれ。
Fuck yeah! Climb that shit, monkeys!
See, you're only making them do those things less.
そうね。それじゃあどうしよっかな。とことんバカになってみるか。俺は新聞なんか怖くない。怖がったら終わりだ。
Oh no. We should be very afraid of newspapers. And the radio stations too. We should be wary of enticing them in any way.
まあ、キムがそう言うならね。
Yes. We should use acrobatics as the very last option. After we've tried everything normal.
Oh, these have got to be the most fucking boring mulka parts I've ever seen.
そうだな。銃で撃ってベルトを切れないか。銃持ってないよな、でもな。
Yeah! Bang bang time, pig! Shoot his head off!
How?
ただベルトを撃てばいいだろ。それで切れる。
It absolutely will not, officer. That's not how physics work. It will maybe cut one thread loose.
Yeah, now we're talking. Entertain a Kuno with...
They'll miss! The pigs will miss Kuno.
主人公の銃の腕ってどれぐらいなんだろうな。まあ、酔っ払ってるからな。どうなんだろう。待って、俺に撃たせてくれ。
The lieutenant's brow is furrowed. He appears too deep in concentration to even notice what you said.
めちゃくちゃ嫌そうな顔してるんだろうな、きっと。そうね。撃ってくる警部補、起こり得る最悪のパターンはなんだ？
I'll blow his head off.
そうだね。
Take it! Take the shot!
Yeah, take the shot. Kuno wants some...
Silence. With
Oh,
his elbow
やる？
sharp,
やっちゃ
the
う？
lieutenant unzips his jacket
やっちゃいます？
and produces a lightweight firearm. He drops a paper cartridge in the barrel, separates the scouring stick, and gives the cartridge 5 tucks.
おー。でも多分キムならうまくやってくれそうな気がするよ。
He then steps back
Okay,
and
okay.
assumes the fellow's stess position, taking aim. The corner of his eye twitches. His finger is on the trigger.
お、すごい。これやったらすごくない？あのクソ野郎を撃ち落としてやれ。
He's gonna fucking miss!
The kid's voice is drowned in a shrill blast that echoes off the walls of the surrounding tenements. A cloud of smoke slowly parts in the air as the lieutenant steps back and says to himself,
God damn it.
ダメ？
Oh my god, that was so many types of wrong. Who taught Four Eyes to shoot? Whip up a grueling training regimen for him right now. Beat the man into him. Go, go, go. He feels bad about it. About his eyes mostly. Just having bad eyesight. Probably from a young age. Whatever you do, do not console him.
そう。慰めちゃダメ？
Fucking idiot! Mulkabat ass!
Kuno could have hit it easy, but then Kuno's not fucking handicapped, is he?
うん。そうだな。もう一発撃ってみたらどうだ？
No, we are lucky as it is. We didn't break anything, and the victim remains uncompromised. Any more mistakes could put us in an unfortunate position with the locals. We have eyes on us. I didn't do us any favors with that.
そっか、ダメかな。一体どうしたんだよ、サリー。サリーって誰だよ。肩の力抜けよ。
I think you have your sports mixed up there, officer. Squaring my shoulders has nothing to do with this.
Bitches fighting.
ダメか。次はど
I
う
have
す
to
る？
say, it's beginning to look unlikely we can get him down without assistance.
Take his gun and show him how to use it.
主人公がやれと。そうだな。銃を貸してくれるか俺が撃ってみる。
It's bad as it is. Us shooting firearms like punks. Go ahead. I'm not stopping you. Just don't lose it.
They only have one gun!
This is the sorriest pair of pigs
よ
Kuno's
し
ever
決め
seen.
たるで。
Yeah, take it, you fucking banana pointer! Take it and shoot yourself in the mouth!
じゃあ主人公が撃つってことで、まずは銃の重さを感
The
じ
cold
る。
piece of bakelite and gunmetal is surprisingly light. Your fingers fit right through the guard, instinctively resting on the trigger.
The fuck are you waiting for, Kuno? Tell him to shoot himself in the mouth!
Kuno is silent. Aggression gathers in the air. The trigger feels delicate and ready to break under your fingers.
さあどうなるかな。銃でベルトを狙う。
The
い
buckle
けよ。
comes into
やってくれよ
focus。in your sights. You stand with your feet planted firmly in the ground
Oi,
and
oi.
your left hand
Oi, oi.
supporting your gun arm.
これってスキルチェックかかんないのかな？
Why don't you just shoot
かかるよ
yourself
ね。
in your mouth? At least you won't miss.
ちょっと待ってさ。これは、あれだよね。8% は厳しいよね。待ってね。そしたら、まず周りを黙らせよう。
What? You gonna fuck me? You wanna fuck me, pig? Is that what this is about?
先に左目を閉じ
Your
る。
field of view narrows. The branch slowly moves, becoming entirely two-dimensional. The metal buckle glimmers, catching the evening light. As the corpse
Look, he's crying. You gonna cry now, fucking faggoty?
8% か。これもう絶対無理だな。下手するとなんだっけ、死体の頭吹っ飛ばしちゃうよね。どうしようかな。やるか。やってみるか、とりあえず。失敗してる。赤かったから失敗だから。やべ。最
A
悪
plume
だ。
of smoke erupts from the barrel. Your
Sayaka da.
hand goes numb from the explosion.
最悪だ
With
よ。
your ears still ringing, you lower the weapon to see what happened.
今さ、死体のお腹にさ、撃たなかった。お腹のとこから血が出てたよね。
You missed the belt, but hit the corpse straight in the chest. Bits of ribcage protrude from the skin. No blood, only a murky sludge dripping down his belly. The sudden stink makes your eyes water.
もうどうしてくれんのこれ。
Oh my god, he's gonna fucking cry. I knew it. What a mulko.
泣き出すあなたは繊細なのだって。ああ。 もうやりたくない。こんなのつまらん。
I agree. Police work is overrated. It is trying and stressful. However, it is still our job to get the dead body down from the tree.
It's not the gun's fault you can't shoot. It's your...
Pigs don't have that.
Kuno has hands. Kuno can shoot that shit down for you.
ふざけたこと言うね。お前に銃は渡さないぞ、小僧。
That's preposterous. What are you, a fucking earl?
We still need to get him down somehow. The bad way. The way I didn't want us to. By asking the harbor for help. They have the tools and the men. If they put him up there, they can take him down too.
やっぱり誰かの協力を得ないといけないか。どうやって、港の中に入る？
From the gates, by negotiating or fighting. I'm unenthusiastic about fighting. Or we can try to find some secret third path. It's unlikely though.
To the gates. Let's fight, I say.
もう無視するぞ、筋肉装置は。なら早速行ってみよう。ダメだったか。残念だね。これでもさ、あれかな、スキルチェックに成功すればさ、これ、銃でこの、なんだっけ、ベルト切れるのかね。そしたら、それで、キムが喋りたそうにしてるけど。
We should think about calling it a day, maybe. The nights are still miserably cold this time of year.
もう何 ?10 時半頃になってるんだ、今。
We can pick up where we left off tomorrow morning.
わかった。もう戻ろうよってことね。それじゃあ、一応街を少し見てきたんだけど、まあ、質屋とかがあったりしたね。ジャーナルで、なんだっけ、これか。さっき見た、被害者、吊るされた男の、アーマーの製造番号を照合しろっていうのがあるから、これをちょっとやっちゃいたいなと思って。
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone, a pull-out toolbox, and the soft glow of the few.
This is Precinct 57. How may I assist you?
夜遅くまでお仕事お疲れ様ですって感じだね。アーマードブーツのシリアルナンバーを紹介してほしいんだが。
Sure, officer. What's the number? And the make of the armor, if you know it.
はいはい。これかな？
Got it. I'll contact the ICP database immediately. Call back tomorrow. Hopefully they'll have dug up something useful by then.
明日連絡してくださいと。待って、ICP ってなんだ？
The International Collaboration Police? They keep detailed records of all military technology produced by licensed manufacturers. That's one of the reasons the Moral Intern spearheaded the creation of the ICP in the first place.
ICP はライセンスを所有する製造業者が生産した軍事テクノロジーに関する詳細を記録していると。それを辿っていけばわかるんだね。倫理機関っていうのは
Officer, as much as I appreciate your efforts to lighten the mood, we both have important work to get back to. Did you have any other serious questions?
忙しいってか。すいません。これはまだだよね。
No, and I doubt they'll get back to me before tomorrow morning.
明日ね。
Anything else?
わかったわかった。じゃあいいよ。
57th, over and out.
In the cabin, you see a set of steering.
よし。とりあえずじゃあこの回答は明日もらえるってことね。それじゃあ、もう何 ?12 時過ぎちゃったんだね。じゃあもうホテルに戻って、今日は休むか。もうほとんど誰もいなくなってるね。さすがにこの時間だと。ガルテさんは相変わらずか、ここ。それでさっきね、ガルテさんにちょっと話を聞いたの、この後ろのドアについて。で、なんか鍵は持ってないらしいんだよね。ガルテさんもこの先に何があるかっていうのはなんか把握してないっぽいんだよね。まあ興味はあるみたいなんだけど、フリッテのお店に繋がってんじゃないかっていうことらしいんだけど、まあそれはまたおいおいやっていくつもりです。で、そっか、もう部屋に戻ればいいんだよね。ここの部屋あれだっけ？女性が入ってった部屋だっけ？
The door is closed. This door can only be opened with a key or from the inside. As you hold the metal.
まあいいや。またね、なんか言われそうだし。主人公の部屋はここだよね。
This is the door to the room you redecorated.
模様替えした部屋のドア。別に模様替えしたつもりはないんだけどさ。おやすみ警部補。
Just a moment. We should talk about our progress on the investigation.
はい。
Let's go out to the balcony.
今日の進捗について一応確認すると。はい。
The air outside is brisk. The lieutenant is silent for a moment. He listens to the traffic hum. Then,
雨降ってきたね。それで
Now then, we should talk about the investigation. But I also feel you're a bit hazy on the RCM. Our role here, our rights, our jurisdiction, basically.
まあね、主人公記憶装置だから、自分が所属してた RCM についてもよく分かってないよね。あれっていうか、キムは何？タバコ吸うの？タバコを吸うんだな、キム。
I have a cigarette every night when I go over my notes. It's something of a ritual.
一本だけ。
oh man, he looks so devastatingly cool with that cigarette.
なんかキム似合うんだけど、主人公は全然似合わないけどさ。あんたはどうしてそんなにクールなんだ、キム。
You mean this? This isn't cool. It's an unnecessary trial of will and unhealthy.
なんかだんだんこのキムが好きになってきたよ、私。
Keeping the habit within the parameters he's given himself takes a lot of focus. It would be easier to simply quit.
一本だけなんていい考えだな。俺も真似するか。
You're cold, detective. Again, I only have exactly one every night.
一応ね、主人公もタバコは持ってるんだけどね。
Below, the city trembles with its remaining lights. People are rushing home, running away from home, smoking, sleeping, singing in the shower. Edges of dining tables, hands, aprons flicker through windows before the lights go out.
なんかいいね。こういう一日の終わり的なこの描写いいね。すごくホッとする感じがする。それで、それじゃあ今日のおさらいといこう。
Yes, it's been a long and eventful day.
一日中歩き回ってたよね、そういえば。今日の成果を、どう思う？
Well, we inspected the victim's body, so that's good. It was not easily approachable in that state, but we did it.
まあちょっとね、死体は下ろすことができなかったけどね。
I would say our initial inspection was very thorough, and we have solid leads to follow up on. Then you shot him in the chest, which wasn't ideal, and we still have to get him down from the tree.
そうだね。銃で外したからな。下に穴開けちゃったよ。もう少し練習しないとな。
Being sober also tends to help with precision. But moving on to the interviews. We weren't able to find the union leader, Everard Clare, much less interview him. So that's on the to-do list for tomorrow.
イブラートね。なんだっけ、講和労働組合のリーダーだよね。会わなくちゃいけないと。はいはい。
We tried to interview the Wild Palms rep, but she asked us to do something for her first. Fine, so be it.
これはあれだよね。まあ、ハーブのその調査、密輸ハーブの調査が、うまく進まなかったね。
I have a feeling Joyce knows how dangerous the situation really is. We have to get her to talk to us. Above all, though, today was exhausting. What's with all the running? You run a lot. Is that a standard Precinct 41 practice?
いや、ものすごく走り回った気がするな。1日目なのにこれ。
I have a really good theory about why you're running so fast, son. Just you wait until we get up tomorrow.
どういう意味だそれ。やだな。明日なんか筋肉痛とかで動けないんじゃないの？もう主人公結構年いってそうだしね。これが41文書流だ。
It's impressive, especially for a man your age. And in those hills.
うん。
Nice shoes, by the way. I like the green. Goes with the orange.
あ、そう主人公のこのヘビ側の靴気に入った？いや、どうなんだろう。でも歩きにくそうだけどな。
Thank you for the compliment. We could manage it even in wooden clogs. There are uncanny running reservoirs in this body. God knows why.
まああんたはね、この人はね、耐久力スキルはね、何履いてても別に構わないんでしょ。で、具体的に俺たちの権力って RCM とはなんだ？
They're quite limited, actually. The power officers of the Revachol Citizens Militia exercise most frequently is imposing fines of up to 1,000 real for offenses, in accordance with an interdepartmental schedule.
1000リアル。もっと取ればいいだろう。
The RCM's primary role is to ensure safety. We are not really supposed to play any part in the economic structure of Revachol.
その権力は悪用しやすくないか。まあ主人公が悪用しそうな感じがするけどね。
Yes, although indirectly, as citizens can always request records from their local station.
あ、そうなんだ。
Officers of the RCM have been known to take bribes of less than the prescribed fine amount. It undermines trust in the RCM.
賄賂ね。やっぱり賄賂を受け取ることで有名ってことはやっぱ賄賂が横行してるのね。わかった。
We can arrest people, of course, but rather than bringing someone in directly, it's preferable to serve a station cold sleep. It prevents confusion and overcrowding.
出頭命令通知を発行する方が望ましい。逃げられちゃったらどうすんだよ、でも。そう。待った、どうして逮捕した相手が署に現れる前提なんだ。
You can't. Those who don't show up become fugitives, though, and have fewer legal rights when they are eventually caught. It's about power projection. Thus far, they seem to mostly show up.
あ、そうなんだ。みんなちゃんと出頭するんだ、それで。
When power calls you, you come. But power itself is a fragile trick of perception.
出てくると思ったよ。権威スキル。なるほど。もし誰かが抵抗したら。
As you may have gathered from the fact that we are expected to carry a record of our kills, like the one in your watermarks, we are permitted to use whatever force is necessary, and strongly admonished not to abuse that power.
これあれなんですよ。なんだっけ。死体のあった庭で拾った主人公の記録簿、あれをさっき読んでみたんですけど、警察の仕事を遂行する上で殺害した、人の人数っていうのをちゃんと記録してるみたいなんですよね。まあそれがいいのか悪いのかわかんないですけどね。まあなるべくでもそういう力の乱用はしないようにってことなんでしょうけどね。待って、もし俺が勤務中に人を殺したら。
You have to supply compelling evidence for why it was necessary to use lethal force. In these cases, your partner is usually your witness.
相棒が証人か。
Not a good position to be in, by the way. Internal Affairs handles these cases thoroughly, by cross-examining you for inconsistencies. It is hard to cover for anyone, which is for the best.
なるほどね。内部調査班でちゃんとチェックする人がいるんだね。俺たちが有罪にした人間はどうなる？
We don't convict. We arrest and send them to coalition government courts in Couron and La Delta. The prosecution works off our testimonies and records, which is why it's paramount to keep them.
あくまでじゃあれなんだね。警察は逮捕するっていうか、逮捕するか出頭させるまでしかお仕事はしないのね。で、そういうルールを作ったのは誰だ？
The coalition government and the moral intern more broadly.
連合政府と倫理機関。
The RCM was formed by the coalition government to restore order in the international zone after the revolution. So we did. Now we attempt to maintain that order. No more, no less. Or perhaps it is better to say we were allowed to form. It's a point of contention whether the citizens of Revachol or the coalition government founded the RCM.
そうなんだ。RCM の起源っていうのがいまいちはっきりしないんだね。レバショール市民だと考えよう。
Be sentimental if you like. Either way, the moral intern leases us the right to keep the peace in this city, and they will take it away if we misuse it.
なるほど。 倫理機関っていうのが、その、なんだ、RCM の、権利を一応、保障っていうか裏付けしてるわけね。倫理機関なんだそれは。
The Moralist International are the world's largest political organization. You know who they are. They have been running this place after the revolution failed.
それで、もし俺が知らないとしたら、そいつらをどう説明する？つまりもうちょっとわかりやすく説明してくれってことね。
They're a union of center-left and center-right parties across the Real Belt. Our coalition government is just one of its many projects. They also run the ICP, EPIS, most intergovernmental organizations in the world.
ここら辺の専門用語がわかると、もっとこの世界に入っていきやすいんだろうね。やっぱいつかちょっとまとめないとまずいよね。それで、そいつらの信念は？
What do they believe in? They are Dolorians. They believe they continue the humanist project set forth by Her Innocence Dolores Day 4 centuries ago. Others say they are just technocrats.
テクノクラート官僚ね。そいつらのシンボルはなんだ？
Interesting question. It's a blue forget-me-not. Their motto is love, compassion, self-discipline. I think you can gauge what they want you to think of them from that.
青い忘れな草。次。
Something kind and usual. Something ominous.
不吉な印象。
Something even a little feminine. But in a strict manner.
スキルによって感じ方が全然違うんだね。それで、ドロレス・デイって誰だ？
A historic figure? The author of the modern age? You will have to look elsewhere for opinions. The subject of humanism is too abstract for me.
For you, she is something painful, though it's hard to say why.
まあこの肉体系のスキルとはちょっと相入れなさそうだね、思想的に。そいつらはどう思う？
The moral intern are a fact. I try not to have opinions on facts until they change. And it doesn't look like that's about to happen.
It is more than that. There's some kind of affection in him.
倫理機関が好きなんだな。
Yes, I did, when I was younger. In my 20s, I considered myself a moralist. A blue forget-me-not, a piece of the sky. They're not all that bad.
まあその倫理機関が本当にそのヒューマニズムっていうのをなんだろうな理想としてその実現のためにこう動いてるんだったら、まあ、悪い存在ではなさそうだけど実際のとこはどうなんだろうね。次に進む。
That's another leitmotif associated with moralism.
But the years have changed that. I don't know what I believe in now. No, I believe in the RCM. That's enough for me.
若い時のキムってもしかしてこう正義感のあふれる、まあ、熱血感だったのかもしれないけどあれかな現実を知って倫理機関とはちょっと距離を置くようになったのかな。それで僕は RCM を信じているそれだけで十分だと。倫理機関について意見がある。
Do you?
うわ引っ張るな。そうねどうしようかな。この辺りにしとくか。連中はこの町にむごい仕打ちをした。この景色を見ろよ。こんなのはヒューマニズムじゃない。
We are in what is called the twilight of international law. The laws we claim to enforce come from the MI. Without them, we are simply vigilantes.
俺たちで自前の法を作るべきなんじゃないか。
Spoken like a revolutionary, not a cop. But hypothetical aside, in Martinez we already are vigilantes. At least the union thinks so. I expect our job here to prove quite challenging.
次に
The lights of the orphan district are reflected in his glasses. The red and golden orbs of the motorway sliding like pearls on a string from east to west as Revachol commutes back to the suburbs. Tomorrow is Tuesday. Monday is over.
はい。1日目は終わりってことね。何も言わない。ただ夜の景色を見つめる。
The dying lights of the city shimmer below. Slowly, like luminous clouds, they pass on his lenses. The lieutenant looks at his slim cigarette, contemplating the next drag. This soldier is the highlight of the day for me, he thinks. This little stick right here.
なんかいいな、ハードボイルドだな、本当に。
They really don't like us here. And the mouth on that kid, Kuno. It's different in land, in Jamrock and the GRIH.
それはどうしてなんだ？
It's our fault for leaving this place to the dogs, to the union, to the company, not daring to come here more often. This place has fallen between the cracks, the jurisdictions of our two precincts.
ここだけぽっかり無法地帯になっちゃってるんだね。ジャムロックや大、レバショール・インダストリアル・ハーバーの場合は、ジャムロックっていうのはなんかレバショールの、中心地らしいですね。
We run this city. West of the river is RCM land. It's incredibly hard. Human beings are... But we are in control, and it's worth it. The organization works. Our systems work. If they didn't, the city would disintegrate.
選択肢は2つか。そうね。俺たちの捜査がこの街の状況を改善することを願うよ。最低でも何か役に立ちたい。
Me too. But I wouldn't count on any drastic changes in our lifetimes.
なるほどね。楽しい会話だったな。助かったよ。ありがとう。
Yeah, it's getting very cold now. Let's go.
よし。はい。これで、一応その一日の終わりのブリーフィングが終わったと。あとは部屋に戻るだけかな。キムはどこに、これ隣の部屋が空いてんのかな？どこに泊まるんだろう？それじゃあね。あ、入ってった。それじゃあどうしようかな。これか？
The bed is cold and not particularly inviting, but it's yours. The sheets look awful.
このベッド一体何があったんだこれ。これベッドじゃないだろもう。何これ？ゴミ食べみたいになってるけど。
The option to go to sleep becomes available every night after 9 p.m.
ちょっと待って。そしたら、寝ましょう今日は。
The bed is cold and not particularly inviting, but it's yours. The sheets look awful.
ベッドに潜り込む。よし、1日目終了
The
か。
sheets feel at once coarse and clammy against your skin. The bed sags beneath your weight as you stretch out and finally close your eyes.
また夢の中と
And
かになる
then
のかな。
And then sleep doesn't come.
あ、また夢の中かな。眠りは訪れない。なぜだ。
Maybe it's the bed's fault.
あのベッドじゃ寝れそうにないもんな。寝返りを打つ。
It's a little better. Colors, scenes, and half-formed phrases still litter your mind. Part of you is still trying to solve the case, isn't it?
誰があの男を殺した？一体誰が？
Something to do with, what was it that the lieutenant said? Union? And it's gone again. Your thoughts lost between the slowing brain waves.
考えるのをやめ眠りに落ちる。
Your breathing steadies. A great silence washes over you until your eyelids twitch in your sleep and images start forming.
なんだ？これ何？夢の中？主人公の。なんだ？気持ち悪いなんか。こっちには行けないか。あの庭に続いてる？何があるの？夢の中でも何このコンビニ袋ぶら下げてんだね、主人公。なんだ？あ、なんで？ちょっと待ってよ。なんで自分が釣られてんのここ。何気持ち悪い。
Do you remember the scent of your childhood?
これ主人公の顔だよね。子供時代の匂いを覚えてるか。いや、何も覚えていない。
Do you remember your wife's hand on your face?
かみさんの手は覚えてるか。奥さんいたの主人公。誰の手だって。
Do you remember the warmth of her thighs between her legs and in her mouth?
一体これは何なのか教えてくれよ。お前が誰なのか、教えてくれるまで質問には答えないぞ。
You know who I am. I'm the bad day. The one where you ask her, and then later in the streets, wandering. It's the worst day of all time, Harry dear. And it's coming. She will hear about it on the phone.
ハリー坊や。やっぱ主人公ってハリーって名前なのかな。その日が近づいているって何
？Reality will turn into a grotesque nightmare. This will be the last thing you did to her. Tell me, do you remember the love of your life?
わかんないな。どっちだろう。俺の方から去ったのか、俺は捨てられたのか。なんとなく捨てられた感じがするんだけどな。
That's right, funky baby. And you just stood there. One hand on the bottle and the other on your dick. Watching her go. Let it all be dragged away from you. Tell me, where are your friends? Human beings have friends, Harry boy. Where the hell are yours?
お前の友達はどこにいる？いや知らないけどな。そうね。全員取り戻せる？
No, it's gone. 3 times gone and never coming back. You failed. You failed me.
お前裏切った。俺を裏切った。
You failed Elysium.
エリジウムを裏切ったんだ。エリジウムってどういう意味だったっけ？理想郷とかそういう意味だったっけ？エリジウムとは、エリジウムというのは
Everything. The pale and the useless. On the surface. The outer magnetosphere. Burning, furious truth. 8,000 years of written history.
すべてさ、ペイル。よくこのペイルっていう言葉出てくるけど、まだよくわかってないね。すべてなんだね。次に進む。
You really dropped the ball, Harry. 4.6 billion people. And you failed every single one of them. You really fucked up.
お前とは前に話したことがある。
No, Harry. You were just talking to yourself. That's all you ever do. Even in your dreams. And the act is wearing thin. The spots of the disco ball fade around you. You'll be back in those cold snakeskins in no time. Sweating up the bed.
ほんと、主人公って何者なんだろうね。あれこれ喋ってる存在変わったよね。古代爬虫類のって確かオープニングで出てきた存在じゃなかったっけ
Stinky boy.
永遠形。俺は立ち上がれる。
You're not coming back from shit. Thrashing around in that high conductivity state of yours. Bumping into things and acting like a clown. Who are you kidding?
俺の心は疲れ果て壊れている。
Your mind is what now? I can't hear you. The rest is just a word dream. Jumbled up garbage. The pictures are gone. The bed rises to meet you, a thin, sleep-like state. More glass than velvet grinding in your head.
So something is wrong. Sleep shouldn't be this bad, this dry, this unnourishing. There's something wrong with your thoughts. Some kind of new type of hangover.
バカな別のタイプの二日酔いがあるのか。
Oh yes, party boy, and it's worse than the one before. Just think of the shit you saw. Here it comes too. So soon already. A silent alarm goes off in your head like clockwork. Barely let you sleep at all. Time to get those clothes on, Harry.
ここにも来るぞって何が来るんだろう。次に進む。
Time to go to work in the shit factory.
工場。なんか謎が深まった感じがするんだけど。主人公の正体って本当何なんだろう。寝れたのそれで。朝の7時半になったね。
Good going, buddy.
気分最悪だよ。なんてこった、今のはなんだ。
Oh, just a dream. You have ones like that all the time. You feel even worse this morning than you did last night.
そりゃそうだよ。首つった自分の死体の夢見たらさ、気分だって悪いわ。俺に一体何が起こってる？
You mean, why are you so tired? Too tired and down to even think? It is worrying, isn't it? You can't be a detective like this. Detectives need to be able to think.
どうして俺はこんなに疲れてる？
It's just that your heart has finally pumped all the speed out of your system, Buster. Time to get some more. You're too weak to say no now. Waking up is the worst part. Maybe somewhere down the line you could decline.
待って、これなんなんだろう？不正字になってるけど。
Speed is a potent central nervous system stimulant. It kept you propped up all day yesterday, despite your debilitating hangover. How else did you think you even got up from this floor?
薬か。これあれか。薬物かなんかだね。なんか今、スピードっていう単語が聞こえたから。
It's power, man. It's professionalism. It makes you feel like you're young again and ready to detect. Ready to go to war against the world.
つまり薬物を手に入れろってこと？思考を受け入れる。これあれか。思考を受け入れるか受け入れないかの話か。どうしようかな。まあ今回のロールプレイ的には受け入れるべきか？
Of course. Martinez is speed central. You just gotta poke around. Follow your nose. You and Speed will be happy again. You will make her come home. This time, it will be different.
怪しいもんだけどね。まあ、変なタスクが追加されたけど、それじゃあ調査2日目ってことか。まあ、時間もちょっと長くなってきちゃったんで、今回ここで終了したいと思います。また次回もよろしくお願いします。ご視聴ありがとうございました。